So a real common thing to do, come on, is that we'll have a piece like this, oh, and come on, draw. We'll want to have an arc, oh, that's really bad, kind of across the top of this, but not be tangent. So this is what reminded me of this. So that it's got an arc top, but it's not tangent. So you guys can see it here on the camera. So if it's not tangent, can I use the fillet command?
Yes.
No.
No.
Fillet command has to make tangent arcs. So if it's not tangent, I can't use the fillet command. And so this is the other situation that even though I don't know the center of it, I have to sketch it. And so in order to do that, I'm gonna have to create a sketch over here. So usually we'd make it the whole height of the part, and then we can sketch it here because we know the overall height here. They're not just gonna give you the dimension to the corner there. And so I need to create and sketch an arc, so just a 3-point arc. I'll go from over here to up there. What constraints do you think I need to use for this?
Radius, right? Or radius
Constraints. Because right now, if I grab it, it can do all of this, right?
Right.
I want the top of the arc to be where this line is, and I want it to be even front to back, right? So what constraints should I use?
Distance between each point and the top.
The
So-
center triangle?
What, say that again? So I want the top, I want this to be tangent to this, right? Now that's gonna make that just barely touch the top of that face. But it can still do kind of weird stuff over here.
And it's not tight to the center, so you want to midpoint that tangent to the middle of that top line.
Yeah, you can't make the, I mean I can make the midpoint, the arc midpoint to there, but I can't control the tangent. But I can still, let's try that.
Okay.
Oh, and it still can kind of get all wonky.
But it's not,
I don't think it worked. Yeah, you can see it didn't add a triangle. It didn't work.
I can't see that.
Oh.
I cannot see that it did not add a triangle.
So, yeah, so if I do this, it actually gave me an error. It says failed to solve. Please try by revising dimension or constraints.
We can barely see
Okay.
what's up there.
Yeah. So it didn't work. Any other ideas?
Make the 2 points horizontal.
Yeah, make those points horizontal from each other. So now when I move it, they have to move together,
Okay.
right? So now I can just give it a dimension of how far down I want that to go, and it's locked in. So here's a caveat. Look at this shape right there that is highlighted. We've got a nice 90-degree corner here. We've got like a 60-degree corner here. What angle is this corner here?
Infinitely small.
Very tiny. Some programs don't like that. Like Fusion actually will be okay with it. SolidWorks, it does not like that at all. Especially having two of them here, because now you have two shapes sharing one exact point, and it's like theoretically multiple faces in there, and so they don't like it. So when I do this, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll just draw in another rectangle above, especially if I'm using SolidWorks. Then I'll just make, those two lines construction lines, and then these two lines construction lines. Yeah, there. So that way it's one big area here, and I can just add a dimension here of whatever I want, just as long as it's higher than that. So now it's a nice big area with a nice straight edge here, two 90-degree corners, two corners that are, 45 degrees or so. Now the programs like it. This is one thing that I've seen lots of experienced people have trouble with, of like, why won't it work? It should work. Yes, it should. Sometimes it doesn't. just draw extra space. Now I can finish, and I can just extrude that whole thing all the way through that way, and I get it. Okay? So this is one of those little things. Again, you don't do it all the time, but if you wanted to have just the round over top of this is the way to do it. And sometimes it is really frustrating, especially when this is the first part you do. Like I said, this is the first part that used to be done in this program. You did Cat 16, this is the very first part. So, doing a nice complicated thing like that. So, I mean, it's not complicated, it's just not straightforward. Especially in SolidWorks where having that angle would sometimes cause problems. And sometimes it would do it fine. So, it wasn't an always thing. So,